Welcome back, guys. Today we're going to take a quick look at the Runcam5 action camera from Banggood. Fun one today. I got a new camera to try out. This should be the Runcam5 from Banggood with any luck. This is supposed to be basically a clone of the Hero 5 Session in a lot of ways. It's a cube style action camera, and this should hopefully replace the Session that I'm running on my 210 quad. You can't buy the Session anymore. It's discontinued, unfortunately. Best camera GoPro ever made, waterproof and the whole bit. So I'm thinking this should be a wonderful replacement for it. If anything, it's a heck of a lot cheaper. So we got a USB-C style cable by the looks of it, same as the Session, except no hatch over the top of it. Single button activation, SD card slot. Actually, that's kind of a slick little rig. I like that. It's not waterproof, so buyer beware that way. Instructions. Instruction diagram, charging, pretty straightforward, plug it in. Connection to computer, plug it in with the USB, pretty straightforward. These are the resolutions and codecs, 60 megabits per second, 4K 30, H.264, pretty familiar with that. That's great, it'll work good with my editing software. What guys are using for FPV, they're using the 1440-60 frames and then stretching it in post-processing. But what I'm going to start with the default settings, 4K 30, because I want 4K and I want to see, will this camera actually work out in the field, and can we use it for, I don't know, it's not really going to be a vlog camera, or maybe it will. We could easily 3D print a case. There's no provision to put it on a tripod, so we'll see what it'll work like. And then maybe later I'll show you how to do the conversion to do the GoPro stretched, the super view. You can do that in post-processing by stretching it out and running the file through some tricks. Okay, actually, there's not a lot in here. We need to get the app downloaded, and then we should be able to do the settings. Maybe let's do that. Okay, this is quite ingenious the way they've done this. Instead of hooking up with Bluetooth or Wi-Fi or anything like that, they do a QR configuration. So video quality, are going to want high unless there's something else. Nope, high is as high as it gets. Loop recording off. Power on auto recording. Yes, please. 4K 30 XV, I think that's the kind of simulated stretched GoPro. Distortion correction. Sure. Volume. We probably want low because we're going to be doing some FPV stuff. So we'll hit apply, scan the following QR code and Runcam setting. So long press the shutter button to turn on the camera. Hold. Got it. Next, double click the shutter button. Switch to the setting mode. Blue light will be constantly on. Wasn't fast enough, maybe. Come on. Green light. And I canceled it. Try that again. Double click. So I guess timing is kind of a trick here. Okay, I'm just gonna skip over all the previous 20 minutes or so that happened and the fighting. This thing is incredibly picky about your timing of pressing this button. So I think I've got it figured out, that I'm fairly good at it now. We're going to try the 4K 30 distortion correction on, volume low, because we're going to do FPV. And I think we've got it. So this is already programmed that it's going to power up and start recording. In theory, it should start flashing the light, which I think is recording. That's good. We'll hit the shutter once and stop it, and then hit it twice. You have to be that fast. It has to be about one every half second or so. And then Come on. See that QR code? It's the curse of the reviewer's curse. Come on. This was working fine before. Maybe it's the lighting here. Let's turn it that way. Come on. Oh, there. I finally got it. Finally got it. Okay. So the cool thing is we could screenshot this, print it off, keep a copy in our backpack. If you want to switch between settings instead of going into the app, it's up to you, whatever works best for your situation. But these are the settings we're going to try. Pretty basic stuff, date stamp off, blah, blah, blah. Saturation, exposure value, contrast, and sharpness, all at the default 2 and 0. People have lowered that, and actually, I thought the video looked worse. So we'll try it and just see. Auto shutdown 3 minutes, sounds good to me. Press the shutter once, and it should start recording, and it does. So we'll put it on a quadcopter, take it out, see what happens. Fingers crossed this is going to work. I like it. I like it very much already, other than that struggle with the timing. 3 presses, which will be about 1, 2, 3 to do the formatting. But for settings, 1, 2 is the speed you gotta go. That's my advice to you. Let's take it out, put it on a quadcopter, give it a rip. I think the camera works a lot better than people give it credit for on the default settings. That was the 4K 30 super wide version, the very top in the selections, and it works really well. I see no reason to change it. I can go to the 60 frames, the square, and then stretch it out in post-processing. I can post a link down below on how you can do that to get the GoPro Super View, but I don't think it needs it. I'm okay with the 4K settings, and in this case of this video, it's going to be just uploaded in 1080 anyway. So for me, it works absolutely fantastic. For the price, it is It is absolutely stellar. You can't get the Session 5s anymore. They're super scarce and still ridiculous expensive. Is it as good as the Session 5? No. The audio isn't as good, and the video I don't think is exactly on par. Is it plenty good for the price? Absolutely. Is it good enough for uploading to YouTube from drone footage and having a camera that I can afford to lose? I think so. I'm quite pleased with it. I'm gonna buy some more of them and use them in a lot more of my builds in the future. Cheers, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Click a thumbs up if you did. I'll see you guys next video. Cheers.